Okay, so we're got the Little Mare out again. I went away for a little while, so she's just been sitting in the paddock with the others having a holiday. So no prep work, we just pulled her out, saddled her up. Just asked her to move her feet a bit. So things are a little bit fresh here. So because it rained yesterday, everything's a bit wet and slippery in here. So we'll keep her safe. So before I went away, we would just climb on, but we'll just see where she's at. Send her around a few things, or through some things, whatever you want to do. Let's maybe go around it. And let's see how sideways is looking. Not too bad. Now push away from that. So just stop off a breath. None of those fancy little cues where you bend over double looking at their bum. Just breathe or breathe out. So she's a bit more uncomfortable on this side. She's tossing her hair and head in the air a bit. There's an expression of something. Change direction. Won't let her get too excited. Off you go. So they get a bit fresh after a few days off. So I'll ask her, that way, that way. But be mindful of where the step is. Change hands, ask for change direction. There you go. Change hands, go that way. Change hands. How fast? There you go. There's wise words of wisdom from, was it Mother Mary or Catherine Mary? Speaking words of wisdom. Catherine said she's not mic'd up and no one can hear her. What a blessing. True. Now, if there's a bit of moaning and groaning from me, it's because I've got a gammy knee. So she's changed a bit of shape with that week off. Yeah, bit of rain. So I'm not going to be stupid because it's also slippery in here. It doesn't look it from the surface, but underneath it's wet. We'll just do a little trot and see what happens. So they're a bit bouncy. And I'll just bend it to a stop before it gets out of hand. So that's all you got to do. Before she bolts, fix it, and off we go. So we'll just practice going around a few things. Let's go around this thing. So she's got a nice bend to her. And then, well, I was going to say stop off for breath, and I was going to bend her sideways to show you, but she beat me to it. She knew it was coming. And then a bit of a back up. So we're working on that. Just drop the head. Drop the head. There you go. Just hold it there. Just hold it there. Shh. There you go.
Talk about the mics now.
Alright, so we invested in some new equipment recently so that when it gets really windy people can still hear what I'm saying. So Catherine has got me mic'd up. I've got this little gadget under my shirt, which is taking a bit of getting used to because I curse and swear a bit when no one's listening, but Catherine keeps hearing me. So our good friends Pat and Deb Puckett, when they're out here, suggested we want to put out some half decent videos, maybe just to help explain what it is that we do so people can hear. Anyhow, so tell us what you think. Would you rather not me speak? It's like Pat says, he never talks when he's riding horses except when he videos, so that people can actually have a bit of an idea what he's doing. So I'm just bumping a little bit as we go around. So I'm just offering a bit to the right. So when Pat was here, I've got this habit of bumping too far out. Because we ride all these youngsters, we have to exaggerate. And then Pat gave me some guidance on one of my horses, and turns out all my habits stay with a slightly educated horse, and I look like a what do you call me, a putz or a dink? I did say, should I go and get my other horse? And they said, what's that other horse doing up the top paddock? And I said, oh, that's Otis, that's my number one horse. He said, why aren't you riding him? And I said, because I didn't want to bring him down here and embarrass myself. And looked me square in the eye and said, well, it's a bit bloody late for that, Bruce. I love Pat. Yeah, so the other thing we learnt from Pat is that we thought we did a fair bit in pushing horses, but turns out we can push them a little bit more. So I've always been thinking, take them to the edge, but not over it. And as Ray Hunt say, keep this side of trouble. But sometimes they have to get into trouble to know they're not in trouble. But turns out we've been a bit too cautious. So anyhow. So I've got nothing really in plan going on here. Because I haven't ridden it for a while, I'm just bumping and asking for a change of direction. So when she goes home, this little one is going to have to learn to stop if she gets in trouble. So not a bad little stop there. That's just off of breath. And I just lifted my hand a little bit. So we do things a bit differently. So when I want to go, I take my legs off. So if we want our hind to bend that way, I just drop my leg back, the hind goes that way. I want the hind to go that way. And she did a pretty good job of that, so we'll just let her sit and think. And if I was Pat, I'd pull out a bloody list of things I could talk about, but all I've got is a plug from a bathtub, so that's probably got a few stories to tell, but maybe that's for another day. That's from the knife and fork set we got yesterday. We entered the town and had a beautiful meal of faster pasta at Elizabeth, was it? Elizabeth. Some good folks there. So they looked after us pretty good. So if you're driving past Elizabeth, pop into Faster Pasta and ask for Patty. She'll do a good job.